Welcome to the channel, and I have got a cozy autumnal vlog for you today. Before we go rummaging in salvage yards, I'm just pottering around and I had the old chair that I got at the market for €5. You would have seen it in a previous video, but I'm experimenting with trying to strip it back to bare wood, but ideally I don't want to be sanding the whole thing. I remember years ago when I first started getting into furniture upcycling, and I would bring a chair to a workshop, only to realise how finicky chairs can be, whether you're painting it or stripping it. You've got those spindles. It's quite the test for a beginner upcycler. What I want to do with this chair is I want to remove all of the old varnish, and I don't want to paint it. I was redoing and refinishing my table in last week's video, and I want to use the same wax oil on this to make it match the table. But because I got this for a £5 in the market, I don't mind, experimenting and seeing what's going to work. Straight away, within about 2 minutes of trying to do that sand hack. Also, I put sandpaper on tape. The hack is to put it on masking tape. I didn't have any masking tape, so I used painter tape, which is not as durable. But that is a little spindle sanding hack if anyone needs it. However, it wasn't as effective as it wasn't working as quick as I wanted, and I have 6 spindles there that need to be sanded. So I picked up this. It's like an eco-friendly paint and varnish remover. I have used eco-friendly ones before, and I found that they're not as effective or work as quick as obviously the chemical ones. However, I don't want to use a chemical paint stripper. I try to avoid them at all costs. One of the main reasons is because they trigger migraines, so anything that smells really, really strong, I find even with a respirator, they can trigger a migraine, so I try to stay away from them. However, they do work better than the water-based, no VOC kind of friendly ones. I decided it was a perfect project to test out if this is going to work, and if it does work, how quick is it going to work, how many times do I have to go over the chair with the product before I can strip off this lovely orange varnish. I covered the chair and I actually left it for a couple of hours just sitting in the garden. It was quite mild. It did say that you could leave it for 15-30 minutes, and I did start to see some of the varnish bubbling up, but I decided to leave it for a couple of hours to see what it was going to be like. So now for the messy part, but it's a bit oddly satisfying. And if you're into peeling things, so if you're into, I don't want to say it because some people might go, ooh, that is absolutely disgusting. But if you're into, like, I don't know, dry skin peeling, you will be into this. So I don't know, we all have our kinks. So this is the messy part where I just have a warm bucket of soapy water and I'm washing away all of the remover, and I'm also using like a metal scouring sponge to lift off the old varnish. You can use a scraper as well. I find with the spindles, the scraper, you have to be careful because you don't want to gouge any dents into the spindles. So I find something that's abrasive, like a scouring sponge or a metal sponge, is good at lifting it off. Okay, so the first pass, and you can still see that the varnish remains in places. So anywhere where it's slightly lighter in colour, all of this is varnish. and you can see where it's coming off. Now, where did I put the sponge? I rinsed it down with the hose, so it is softened. So I reckon if I came in with, I'm using like a scary sponge, but I had a wire, a bit of a wire as well, so it is lifting up. I could work on it a bit more to try and scrape it. So it is lifting. I could let this dry out and put some product on it and give it another going over, but is it something that's easy and works straight away? Absolutely not. I left it for a long time as well. I left it for a couple of hours. It did say 15-30 minutes on the tin, and then it did say you can leave it for longer. But I think if this was a piece of furniture that I could sand or use a hot gun on, I probably would. So I wanted to just test it out and see. But yeah, so far you can see there is still a lot of varnish on it, considering it was on it for a couple of hours. It did get the pen mark off. That was good. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this yet. Okay, the wood has actually dried out quite. I can see it a bit better now. And, oh, hang on, the sunshine. So let me move this out of the sunshine. A bird has also pooped on it, but you can see where it actually took off more than I expected. However, it's the spindles that I really want to come off. I'm going to give it another layer because it does say on the product give it 2 layers. You can see there's still a lot of varnish on the legs. I'm going to cover this in the product again because I do like the wood underneath. See this one? Obviously it's really dry and it needs a drink, but I think with some wax I can make it look like my table. So yeah, I'm just experimenting. The last thing I want to do is have to hand sand this because of the spindles. So I'm going to put more product on it, and I don't know how a bird pooped on it. It's very random. So yeah, we'll give it another go. I want to go to a salvage yard while my chair is doing its brewing away with the varnish stripper. There is a salvage yard that's only like 25 minutes, half an hour away. It's out in Newcastle, and I just want to have a rummage, but I'm also looking for those brick shims as well, just to have a little look and get a sample. So let's go salvage. This is Landmark Architectural Salvage, and it's in Newcastle. They actually have a really good website, and they open from 8 till 5, and they open midweek, and you can just pop in and have a ramble. I say that because some places they might only open like Thursday through Sunday, or you may have to like make an appointment if you want to visit during the week, but you can just pop in and have a wander. It's actually a bit of a hidden gem because you just turn a corner, go through the gates, and bam, you've got all of this treasure and a nice big site. There's loads of pieces for outside, so there's lots of paving, brick, but there was also loads of wooden sleepers. And I have just done my bed project in the front garden where I used sleepers, but when I saw the reclaimed sleepers here, so they were quite long and they were 60 or 50 euro each. You'll have to double check the price, but I was like, ooh, I could have used old reclaimed sleepers for my project. But listen, at least I know for the next time. loads of outdoor furniture, cast iron pieces. We've got some bird baths, lots of quirky statues if you're into that. Fountains, if you're in the market for a fountain, a big one for your garden. And then when you're having like a little rummage, there's lots of little crates and things. Actually, while I was there, one of my favorite garden centers, there was somebody there, their van was there, and they were buying crates and boxes, and I was like, ooh, I bet they're going to use them for their display window. So maybe it was probably this time of year, they're probably getting ready for Christmas display. So I was being a bit nosy, having a little look to see what they were buying. So yeah, if you're doing any displays or you're looking for something unique and quirky, definitely in the salvage yard. They also, I will share later on, but they did have the brick shims and there was reclaimed bricks as well. They do have a website that you can go on and have a little look if you want to have a peep to see what's on it before you drive out. There was also some smaller items as well and a few little trinkets, but I would say this is mostly a lot of kind of outdoor stuff. But definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. Not too far from Newcastle is the Avoca in Rathcoole, and I just popped in because I was not caffeinated and I wanted to get a coffee. But when I walked up, they had the cutest autumnal displays. I always love, well, first of all, I can hardly afford anything in Avoca, but they do have amazing displays. So if you're ever looking for a little bit of inspiration. Okay, it is very windy out, so I hope my mic doesn't pick up the wind, but I picked this up in the salvage yard. So it's this little, to me it looks like a robin, but I suppose it could be any small bird. So it's a teeny tiny bird bath and it has hands, water. There was water in it when I bought it, like a bit of rainwater. So I was thinking of putting that up on my mum's grave because I want to make like a little garden there. I thought that this was a sweet way of having a bird bath Yeah, it's really cute. Also got a brick sample. So they had brick shims. I like the texture of that. And they're not too thick. Is my camera gonna zoom? Yeah, so that's how thick it is. So it's like a fingertip thick. Lovely texture. Now, their brick shims are €50 a square metre, which is not that bad. However, I think I would use this for an outside project. This is just a sample. I think, yeah, I definitely use this for an outside. Do a lovely little herringbone pattern if you were doing a pathway. I was saying in a previous video about the flooring that I want to change in the kitchen down the line when I do mini reno. I was looking at I think it's called Le Capietre, and thank you so much, because I asked if anyone knew where they were stocked. They're actually stocked in Ballymount. Tile Style have them, so I don't have to import them, which is good to know. So they stock them. I have to go over and get some samples to see what their ones are like, but I know that their ones are kind of designed to be used inside as well. They also have a ceramic version. It's not by the brand La Capietre. It's not a dupe, because it's still quite expensive, but it's a ceramic version, because a lot of you guys were saying that with brick floors there's a lot of maintenance and sealing and cleaning and stuff. So a couple of you guys had suggested to see if I could get a ceramic option. So I need to go to more tile shops, but I definitely would love this little brick shim. That would be so cool for a project in the garden. Like, cause they're €50 a square metre. Like, imagine doing a little wall of them, or a little nook, or obviously a pathway as well. So there you go. If anyone is looking for brick shims, and you don't have to go too far. Also, I know I was in Kilkenny Salvage Yard last year. I don't know if they have brick shims. I'm sure they do. I kind of saw some similar stuff, but you could also check them out there. But €50 a square metre if you want to get your reclaimed brick. And I'd say, what's that, an inch? An inch thick. Nice and smooth on the back as well. But yeah, lovely patina on that. Has a little white and everything, yeah. I'm assuming brick shims are like a brick and they've just cut it into 4 or 2. Yeah, I don't envy whoever has to cut all the bricks in half because I'm sure that's a tedious job. But yeah, there you go. I took one as a sample, but I think with all of the texture and lovely patina on this, I'd use this on an outside project. But I am glad that they had some and I could take one as a sample. Yeah, this is giving cottage, paving outside, beautiful. Okay, round 2 with the furniture stripper, and it didn't get it all off. However, it did get a lot more off compared to the first round. I actually ended up leaving this overnight. Now, I did leave it sitting in the greenhouse, but it wasn't too cold. And I'm just rinsing it. I'm softening the stripper with a bit of water, and then I am scrubbing it with the scrubby end of a cleaning sponge. I also use a little bit of wire as well. I did wet some sandpaper and tried to wet sand it, but I actually found a little scouring brush. If you scrub it in like circular motions, it was removing. You can see the varnish is starting to pick off. Now, while this did get most of the varnish off, there was still some left over. So please, in the comment section, if you could let me know your favorite technique for removing varnishes and paint from spindles. So those harder to reach areas where, like, I could use a little mouse sander on the spindles, but I find when you're sanding the spindles, you have to be so careful not to ruin the shape of them. If I had a lathe, I would take apart the chair and you could spin them on a lathe with sandpaper. I think that would be the best way to do it, but I don't have a lathe. So if you have removed or stripped any varnish, especially when it comes to like chairs, do you just bring them to a professional who can dip them nice and easy, get them dipped, or Do you have any little techniques? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget that YouTube blocks links. So if you do try and link to a product, it blocks the link. So just type in the product name in the comment section and give me all of your tips. I have spent 2 days trying to strip that chair. So I'm going to the pub now. It is Friday evening as I am filming this. I have no more patience left in my tank to try and give that chair another go. I think it needs to be hand sanded now or electric sanded. Refinishing wood, oh my god, it's a million times harder than just getting something and painting it. I was half tempted halfway through to power wash that, not gonna lie, but the power washer that I borrowed that time, I did actually give it back. I didn't steal it. I was like, oh damn, I could do with that now. While I hate leaving something unfinished, I was kind of giving myself space this week to just experiment with that product and see if it would work. But yeah, would I recommend it? I don't know. I like that it's eco-friendly and it does actually work. It does actually get some of it off. The cat is playing with the camera. Hang on. If the camera moves, it's because Bon is chewing the tripod. Only don't chicken. Of course I will have cat hair all over me while I go to the pub. Will you be alright if I go to the pub? Such a bad mama. You have your sissy. Oh, you're so cute. Bug. Oh, here's Bug. Hang on, just try and get his tail. You baby. Oh, there goes the table that I fixed last week. Now, here is the other instigator. Look at her little face. She's coming into her season now. I feel like the month of October, Halloween, is Miss Buggies. She just looks fabulous. And when she stands next to a pumpkin, I'm like, you look amazing, girl. Anyway, on that note, oh, she looks like that cat, that meme with the black cat and it is sitting like that, doesn't she? Oh, Buggy. She's so cutie. Anyway, I'm going to the pub. I'll keep you posted if I manage to strip that feckin' chair. See you next time.